From Rochester, New York, the city that knocks 'em dead with Susie B, Freddie D, and the Mount Hope Cemetery, this is FC3 Monkey Business, your one-stop shop for everything geeky, starring Billy DeTore, Tanya Metris, and Chris Frank in stunning grayscale. And here's your host, Chris Frank.
Host Chris Frank? What do you mean, host Chris Frank? Remember we tied him up last week and we shipped him out? Well, actually, this is your host, T. Once again, Chris was unable to make it this week, but don't worry. We are going to have such a great time, and he's going to be so sorry that he missed it. This week on the show, we will be talking about our favorite comic book movies. And unfortunately for me, this is going to be not my forte because I don't read comic books. So this is going to be the Billy and Ann show today.
But no, that's the thing, though. You see all the movies.
I see all the movies.
And you have favorites.
I do have favorites, but it's definitely out of my realm of expertise. So
I'm with you.
I'm going to stay away from the current Marvel, DC type movies because I thoroughly enjoy them, but I don't necessarily have a top 10 list. What the hell are you playing with? Is that a Coca-Cola? Oh, did you get your wristband off of your Coke bottle?
Yeah.
What does that do?
It's just a wristband, so you can look cool when you buy a Coke. And
so is that what the other side?
Them.
Is that what the other side looks like?
Yeah.
I haven't pulled one off of my Coke Zero bottles, but yes, we are going to talk about our favorite comic book movies. Definitely, Billy and Ann have a little bit of advantage to know what it is to be a comic book movie because I went through Google to see what it was a comic book movie, and there was like so many movies on here that I watched that I never realized that were comic books. Because I'm not a comic book reader.
That's why I asked for your favorite movies of those lists. So if you like Black Panther, even if I've never read a Black Panther comic.
I've never read any of the comics, but I'm
And
like,
that's
you
fine.
can read them whenever you want.
Right,
You
so
just have to organize them afterward and put them in a box nicely.
and scan them like
Yes.
at your house. We're not doing that. So after that, stick around for our upcoming events and our question of the week. And as always, if you like what we're doing, please leave us reviews on Apple Podcasts and Google Play. And don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to the show. So let's see who's here today. Well, we already know that C's not here today. He's recovering from Juliana's ball from last week.
Okay.
So that's where Chris is. But we have Billy in the studio yet again.
Hello.
Hi, Billy.
Hi, Tanya.
How was your week?
It was good.
It was good?
It was good.
Did you have a good time at your sister's from
Sisters
Memorial?
from Memorial Day, yeah. And ate a lot, as I should. And it's been uneventful since.
Well,
working and watching TV and doing all the things I love. Watching baseball.
Watching baseball. How are the Mets doing?
They're okay.
Did Susan pitch for them last weekend?
She should have.
I did see when she was in New York City that you wanted her pitching for them.
Yeah. It turns out they almost came back and won that game. But
Yeah, because she was going to come next door from Cirque du
yeah,
Soleil.
she was at Cirque du Soleil right next to Citi Field.
So. She was going to come back and give them a taste of...
Yeah, her 7-mile-an-hour fastball.
So we know Billy's in the studio, and to my left, Ann is in the studio yet again. Hi. Did we survive this weekend?
Yes.
Yes. How are your feet?
I'm done with tapping. I'm not sure I'm going to come back next year.
You lie like a rug.
Don't listen to her.
Were you going to come back and join us?
I don't know about that.
We did it last year. It was
And I
all about
loved
that
it.
bass.
It was awesome.
And this year is Ree Charleston. So I wonder what Gina would pick for us next year. Do we have
She's the
any
best.
input?
No.
Why not? Can we hold her down? She's little enough. I can hold her
She's
down.
pretty little.
I can put her in a small child hold. I know I can. She is a small child. I can. No?
Stubborn like a child, too, though.
Yes. So Ann's here. And we have Kate back for a second week. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
You're very
I
excited.
didn't ruin it the first time, so you let me come back.
It's very hard to ruin something that
We go off the rails.
we go
so
off
far.
the rails. Things we can pull it right back into things.
Yep.
No?
No.
No. Don't you shake your head no at me. Remember, this part is new for me because we're not playing off of Chris.
I know.
It's definitely a different vibe. Less energy in the studio. I think we're.
What are you talking about?
I forgot he was over there. I think we're more mellow.
Yeah.
It's like we don't have the spider monkey going on.
This is the NPR version of
The NPR.
FC3 Monkey
What does NPR
Business.
stand for?
National Public Radio?
Is that what it is?
I think so.
I think so.
I'm like, I don't know.
My kid watches those really quiet people talking on her phone at all hours to go to sleep. I'm like, what the heck are you
Oh, the
watching?
ASMR?
Yes.
Love that stuff.
I could not record that. I'd be like, la, 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 la.
Yeah, I talk too much and too loud, but
As we're proving right now.
I know it's definitely a lot more low key than what I was mentioning from last time. That it is definitely a different vibe that we're getting. It's a nice change.
Could be because it's like nice outside and the sun is shining for the first time in like 6 months.
so people
sun
are
shines in
love it or
Rochester?
hate it.
Maybe.
Well, it is kind of sunny today.
Yeah.
Looking out.
It's been nice though, because like, we're not freezing cold, and I could put the winter coat and boots away, and so we're finally hitting spring right around June.
Don't jinx it.
It'll snow next week.
It might.
Anything new other than we survived our recital this past weekend?
So proud.
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I got
I got
nothing.
nothing.
Yeah, no. I got
recovery
nothing
mode
either.
now.
Just in recovery mode, trying
Waiting
to.
for school to get out so we can
Start
I
the
can
summer?
ship my kid off to camp for 3 weeks.
Yeah? What are you doing for summer?
I'm working summer school.
Oh.
I work 30 days over the summer doing the same thing. Same thing that I normally do. Right now we're gearing up, and I have to go through interviews in the next couple days because the program's changing a little bit. So there's no longer the program that I work for that title. So everything is being shifted around. So all the teachers that are displaced have to go through an interview process on June 4th and 5th. So getting ready to go and do that. That's
Not fun.
freaking me out just a little bit. So when you guys hear this on June 6th, I will have already gone through my interview, and I'll know on June 10th where I'm placed for the next school year. I still have a job, but just don't know where my classroom is going to be.
When is Kate's graduation?
My graduation?
Yeah.
I'm just starting school in the fall.
So
Yes.
Ann wants to know when you're graduating so
Yes,
we can party.
we have to start planning a huge party.
But I don't know, however long it takes, 2.5 years.
So what are you going back to school for?
My MSW, Master's in
Social
Social
work?
Work. Yeah. Yeah, a little nervous. But
That's why there's
excited
such a
at the same
calm
time.
atmosphere in here. We have a social worker a student getting ready to kind of keep us calm.
Yeah. I don't know that I would be very good at that.
You are. You are very calm, and you keep everybody at dance calm. You keep all the girls calm. I mean,
That's very nice of you.
everybody but your daughter, because she's just on her own.
Right, so how does
level.
that work?
But
She's
usually
the
parent-
craziest one out of all of them.
Yeah, but usually parents and children butt heads anyway. So you wrangle in somebody else.
Her
to help
daughter's
them out.
hilarious though. Like, she will get in my car if I pick her up to go anywhere, and she will ramble non-stop for 30 minutes. And she gets out of the car, and I have no idea what we talked about.
Yeah.
Are you sure she's not related to Riker?
I feel really bad because
He
for
does
a
the same
long
thing.
time I would just say and then I was like, what am I uh-huh-ing to?
No, I listen
Like I
to
might have
her.
been
Like I
teaching her
listen
horrible
and I
things
talk,
and I don't know it.
Like I
that Mia?
have conversations, but it's like sometimes I'm like, she gets out, I'm like,
What did she just talk?
She loves talking
she
to
wants
you.
a dire wolf, and
Is it going to be named Ghost?
Probably.
she wants that. And what is the
Sure, it
other
has
thing
enough
she
pets.
wants? The fox.
Fennec Fox,
Fennec
which,
Fox.
by the way, a dance mom just had a picture of herself holding one yesterday. I was like, do not show that to my daughter.
Oh, she wants one so bad.
She does, but they cost like $5,000 or something.
We got to set up a
Also,
rescue.
she's in high school. She can wait.
We have
She
to
would
set up
get
a
her own
rescue for
place.
so she can
Did
rescue
she
one.
ever? Is she thinking about like being a wildlife
Absolutely.
rehab?
Absolutely.
getting
Well,
her
she's a
wild
scientist, she calls herself, so she'll be doing something.
She's a what?
Scientist.
A scientist,
She says. So
yeah.
she'll be doing something with animals in the wild. She wants to like go out into the
Gotta hook
rainforest
her
and
up
find new things.
to with my niece Alicia.
Yeah.
My niece Alicia's the same thing. Like
Really?
rescue everything.
Yeah, it's my
Yeah.
kid too.
Her bedroom is a zoo. She's like, and she just asks more. She asked for a chicken recently.
Oh, we have some new babies.
No, don't tell her that because I
My-
said
my
we're not
niece-
getting a chicken. That's
my
ridiculous.
niece has asked for a goat.
I want a
Oh, I
goat
love
too.
goats.
But I
She
want
wants
3
a-
pigs too.
Goats are kind
turkey
of
bacon
awesome.
haminator and what was the third one?
I don't remember. I want turkey. Yeah, he's got to be turkey bacon haminator.
Hold on.
Sir Spam
Sir
a lot.
Spam a lot.
Yeah.
And Sir Spam a lot. Yes, those are the three
That's
we
my favorite.
decided
Bacon,
on.
turkey, bacon, and haminator were the ones.
Yeah, no, we decided we needed a turkey bacon and a bacon. We needed a Sir Spam a lot instead.
And then you tempted
agree.
me with the baby picture.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
cute.
he is cute.
We were taking turns yesterday holding him. He's so cute. And then I gave him back and left.
And then Anne had him all night and didn't sleep.
Poor Ann.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll live.
Okay, so I think that's kind of wrapping up this first thing. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and we are going to talk about our favorite comic book movies.
And
Billy, what kind of break do you have for us this time?
Going to comedy, comedian Tom Kenny, who, by the way, is the voice of SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
So he's going to be talking a little bit about Batman and Wonder Woman.
I always liked Batman in the comic books as a kid because Batman was the committed superhero. All the other crime fighters in the comic books got their powers in what always seemed to me to be very random ways. You know, they walk through a cloud of radiation, bam, become really strong. Superman, total accident, crash landed on Earth, boom, could bend steel in his bare hands. But Batman made the decision. He looked in the mirror and said, you know, I'm a very rich, very successful businessman. Occasionally I'm going to dress like a bat and slap the bejesus out of people. You got a problem with that? You know, I used to like Wonder Woman comics as a kid. Yeah, maybe the fact she had huge hooters had something to do with it in my fevered 9-year-old brain. You get it any way you can when you're a tyke. And now that I think of it, but some things never change. Wonder Woman had great weapons that she used to fight crime. Remember her arsenal of weapons? What did she have? Right, she had her rope or lasso that would make people tell the truth when they were tied up in it. Right, she had her bracelets that bullets would bounce off of. But my favorite Wonder Woman weapon, exactly, she had her invisible plane. That was always the coolest to me as a kid, her invisible plane. What a great idea, an invisible plane. They're kind of useless if you're not invisible, though. You know what I'm saying? The bad guys are down on the ground going, hey, Muggsy, who's that gorgeous babe squatting up there at 50,000 feet? I don't know, but she's a honey. Oh, God, she's beautiful.
Since the 30s and the 40s, the days of the Shadow and Dick Tracy, filmmakers have been mining the gold of comic books for stories and characters to thrill and intrigue audiences. Not just a product of Hollywood, comic book-based movies are a multinational phenomenon. Beginning in 1938, every genre from detective stories to sci-fi, horror to comedy, superheroes to supervillains have been made. With hundreds of films to choose from, it'll be hard to pick our favorites, but we're going to do our best. You know, hundreds, try thousands. Mm-hmm. I think there was at least 2018 comic book-based movies on IMDb the other day when I was doing a little bit of my research to figure out which one was considered a comic book movie or not.
That's crazy.
Yes. I couldn't find that list, of course, today, but it's on my phone, but I couldn't find it on the computer.
See, even a lot of the comic book movies that you would not think is a comic book movie became comic book movies because since like the late 90s, if it was a movie that was superhero, the comic book industry went ahead and made a comic book out of it because they're just trying to feed off of the money you're getting from the industry. Especially Disney.
As they should. They make billions.
Billions.
Okay, my initial idea was for us to do top 10s and just sort of quick round robin, talk a little bit about your favorite movies. So I don't know if you made actual lists or not.
I did make a quick list today. So I said I was going to go outside my normal realm of comic book knowledge, which is pretty non-existent anyway. So I did some searching to see what were comics that I have seen as a movie. That's how I did it.
Okay.
I went through the list of like comic book that were made into movies. So that's how. And then I'm like, oh, okay. So I stayed away from the Avengers and all, because because that gets into like superheroes and things like that we've already like kind of.
And
run the gamut with and things like that.
I'm going to hit a few of those on
yeah, and as I said, I thoroughly enjoyed those. So I was the one that jumped out at me initially. I'm going to go back and do Casper.
Aww.
I saw that for the first time a couple months ago when we
the 1995 one with what was it, Christina Ricci? And who was the male actor?
That's a good question.
Oh,
I didn't love that movie, to be honest with you.
Oh my gosh, I could picture
No,
his
but
face.
I do love the comic books.
I do too. I like all those old Harvey comics.
Yeah.
The Caspers, Richie Riches, Hot Stuffs. I still
They
will
have that
read those.
innocence to them. They do.
They're a good one just to pick up and read and look at, and they'll sort of make you feel good.
You don't have to worry about following the next storyline for the next 50 books that you have. You know,
Exactly.
like you could pick up one of those books and read it, have a real good feel-good feeling about it, and move on with your day and not have to like, oh, what happened to this character?
Exactly. It's just one shots every time. And let's see, who was in the cast of Casper? Eric Idle was in it. I remember
Bill
him.
Pullman,
Bill Pullman, that's right.
Christina Ricci. Let's see.
I don't know. I'm always thought like maybe that character
Kathy Moriarty.
from the comic books did not really follow through very well into the movie because, I don't know, he seemed a little too in depth in the movie compared to his characters in the comic books. He was, I don't know, I like the comic books a lot better than the movie.
I do too. In the original cartoons from like the 50s that I used to see on early morning before I went to kindergarten, they used to rerun like Harvey Tunes with Casper and the Big Duck, Baby Huey.
Baby Huey, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch of DVDs of those because
I do too.
I like to sit back and watch them
I do too.
with my bowl of cereal on Saturday morning.
But Casper's is a cute movie. Ghostly
was
Trio.
cute. Yeah, it was just something I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
and like came out in '95. I was finishing my first year teaching, so
Brings back nice memories.
yeah, it does. So there's my first one.
And
Okay, well, mine, I did, 10 to 1. So, like,
I did too.
So, like,
Number 10.
number 10 is The Swamp Thing from 1982.
Oh, good, fun movie.
It was a great movie. I loved how a lot of the features from the comic book came into the movie.
Adrian Barbeau.
The regenerating of when you cut off his hand, it regrew when it hit sunlight. All of that stuff followed from the comic book to the movie, where in today's modern society of how comics are, a lot of that stuff does not follow through anymore.
And the funny thing is, I've got to rewatch that one now because I hear people reliving that one now and really liking it. And I haven't seen it since its initial run on HBO, whatever year that was.
Probably 84, 85.
I just remember Adrian Barbeau was in it because, well, she's Adrian Barbeau.
Let's see what else she's been in.
I just watched that probably about a month ago, trying to get my daughter to watch it. And she's like, ew, what is that? But she didn't get it. But I enjoyed it just as much.
She was most famous for the sitcom Maude, which was the All in the Family spinoff. She was also in the Creep Show, and trying to remember what other movies Adrian Barbeau was in. Who was the male lead? Who played Swamp Thing? Do you remember?
No.
Hold on. Dick Durock is Swamp Thing. Louis Jordan was Arcane. Ray Wise is Dr. Alec Holland.
Okay.
It wasn't a very well-known actor. He didn't do very much after that. I think he did some soap opera stuff, but that was really about it.
Some interesting little bit of trivia. Adrian Barbeau is in filming a TV series, Swamp Thing, that's coming out in 2019.
Oh, part of the DCU
Yep.
app. Nice. My number 10 was Batman 66. And between the first and second seasons of the TV show, they filmed a feature-length movie, Adam West, Burt Ward, obviously, and the four major villains, the Joker, Riddler, Catwoman, Penguin, all teaming up to try and take over the world, basically. And to me, that it's just a huge part of pop culture. Nowadays, people still remember the Bat Shark repellent or Batman running around with a huge bomb over his head trying to get rid of it. And
it's the only way to convey comic books to film in the beginning.
Right.
And that was the first one I saw, like as a kid, and they would run that one on TV, and it was just every time that movie was on, and it's still fun. And I really liked the Batman 66 movie for my number 10 pick.
Just looking at the other cast, Cesar Romero and Burgess Meredith, that had to have been hilarious.
Yeah,
You've never seen it? Oh.
Remember, newbie. Definitely a newbie. I'm like, I've seen episodes of Batman from that era type thing, but
the movie was much like that in the
Just longer.
Yeah, with the flash, the bam,
Kapow!
yes,
Yeah, Lee Merriweather in her only appearance as Catwoman,
which she's so famous for.
Yeah.
But it was the only time she was ever played it.
Julie Newmar, mostly on TV, and then Eartha Kitt. But Lee Merriweather did a fine job as Catwoman and as Miss Kitka, the Russian lady that Bruce Wayne fell in love with. So that's my number 10 pick. Tanya, what's next on your list?
I think I'm going to have to go Mystery Men.
Oh, I remember that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And shaking her head.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
I have not seen that.
1999.
Is it Ben Stiller?
I think so. And I'm not a big Ben Stiller, Adam Sandler type fan because they seem to run the same genre, things like that. But it's just like William H. Macy's in it, Jeannie Garofalo.
Oh,
Love them.
that would be something I would watch because I like her.
IMDb, a group of inept amateur superheroes must try and save the day when the supervillain threatens to destroy the major superhero and the city. And let's look at the cast.
Greg Kinnear, Captain Amazing.
Yeah. Janine Garofalo was the bowler. I remember
Baby
her.
Bowler.
William H. Macy, the shoveler. Yeah, Paul Rubens, better known as Pee Wee Herman, was the spleen.
Cal Mitchell is Invisible Boy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Ben Stiller was Captain Furious.
Jeffrey
to watch
Rush
that.
is Casanova Frankenstein. Eddie Izzard.
Oh,
Tony P.
And I've only seen this once, and I don't remember it well, but
It's hysterical.
I gotta rewatch it now.
They're gonna have to watch it because Ben Stiller and William H. Macy, they're like, oh, we can't do that. Whatever. Then they're like, oh, yeah, come on. So, because they were all doubting themselves throughout a good portion because they're screw-ups.
but
So,
I'm sure they
those are the best
overcame
Yeah.
and succeeded in defeating the bad guy.
Yep. And Jeannie Garofalo, for the bowling ball, it's her dad's head that's like in the bowling ball, or she talks to the bowling ball during the time. And
I talked to my bowling ball.
does it get you strikes?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. But yes, that's one that is check your brain at the door. It's just enjoyable.
Let's see. Despite its list of stars, Mystery Men made a little over $33 million worldwide against a $68 million budget. So, unfortunately, it flopped, it looks like. But I think it's become a cult favorite since then. What do you got next, Dan?
Yeah.
I hear whispering over there.
Oh, I had
Give me a broken pen. That's all. That's all.
I had the Rocketeer next.
Rocketeer. God, I forgot about that one.
It's just a good movie. Like, I mean, it was 1991. I was 5th, 6th grade, so I was highly impressionable.
I was finishing my freshman year of college.
So it was. I don't know. The comic book, it did not come out until after, as far as I remember. But the movie made an impression because the comic book is in my collection.
Very nice. My number 9 is Sin City. Frank Miller. It's a great series of comics, and they did almost a shot for shot, mostly black and white, a little splash of color here and there, but like a trio of stories. Am I correct that they managed to put 3 storylines?
That was such a good comic book, too. I'm so glad they did that movie so well.
And they really did, because they made a sequel a couple years ago, and it didn't come off quite as well. I still enjoyed it, to be honest with you.
It's actually one that I've seen.
What, Sin City?
Sin City.
Yeah.
Did you like it, Tanya?
I can't say I loved it, but I didn't say that I hated it. I think that some of it was just it's too dark and kind of just.
That's why I can just tell that sometimes you and I like dark things better than you do.
A lot of comic books are way darker than the movies that come out with it. Especially if you're going at Batman, Superman, the traditional, even Black Panther. So much darker in the comic books, more death, more violence than what is portrayed on television.
Right.
That's probably where my sense of humor comes from.
And Mickey Rourke, I thought, was great. Everybody was really great to me in Sin City. And just when my wife first moved to town, when we first met and started dating, and she came to town, I showed her that movie, but I showed her the extras first on how they made it, like the green screens, and it sort of eased her into the violence and sort of the weirdness of it, and she became fascinated by it, really loved it because of the making of stuff before she actually saw the movie.
I like movies that are done differently, and I liked it for that reason. I thought it was
it's definitely different.
Yeah, I enjoyed the artistic part of it.
So Sin City is my number 9. Tanya.
Let's see. I'm gonna put on there.
She's throwing a dart.
The Shadow.
I saw that at the theater.
Alec Baldwin,
Yeah.
1994. It's just like one that like sticks out at me. That's
You're coming up with all kinds of ones that I haven't thought about in years.
Yeah, I don't.
see. I
I've
went
seen
outside
it, but-
the box. I'm definitely thinking outside the box of things I just enjoyed watching. What's that look for?
I went to that movie to see it, and it was a date, and I never actually saw the movie. So
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
trying to-
Gee, well,
All right.
Let's
did
get more
you
into
see
that.
the inside of a? Never mind.
It was not a drive-in.
Were you in the back of the theater?
We were the very back.
Tonsil hockey,
I
huh?
believe it was
do
in
it.
the wearing as well.
Where's the wearing?
Oddly enough, on Waring Road. I
yeah.
remember that, but I don't.
It was like $1 movie theater, and your feet stuck to the floor. And you used to Mom used to make us bring like a trash bag to sit on, or else you'd get stuff on your clothes.
Oh my gosh.
Looking at the Wikipedia for it, and I remember seeing it, but I don't remember much about it. And I did read Shadow comic books, but let's see, Ian McKellen was in it. Tim Curry's in
Then I
it.
had to-
Peter Boyle, Penelope. So there's a good cast that I barely remember. I'm going to have to revisit this one now. Alec Baldwin playing
Jonathan
Lamont
Winters?
Cranston.
She's just making us a
Jonathan
list of
Winters,
movies
yeah.
to watch now.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm making Billy's to watch
Yeah.
list.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Hulu and Amazon Prime and Netflix. What can I watch at work tomorrow? Oh, I have off tomorrow. I have 8 hours of nothing to do.
I'm going to watch The Shadow this week.
You can come to my house and cook out with us.
Can I bring something?
Absolutely.
That's very.
I'll bring a chicken.
I was gonna say that's a really nice thing for you to say. You don't know what she wants
It'll
to
still
bring.
be alive. but-
You're going to chase my child around with it? So that's one that kind of just pulled me in, was The Shadow.
Good choice.
Only the shadow knows. And Anne?
Okay, so this is kind of like an all-encompassing, because I couldn't just choose just one.
Highlander.
Everything X-Men.
There can be only...
Everything from Gambit
I
to
was gonna say that
everything,
too.
everything X-Men.
I love
I'm
that.
just stealing her list.
Ever since Hulk 181, where Wolverine came into play, X-Men has been like my go-to. Having a bad day, I'm either going to read a comic or read 100 comics or watch X-Men.
Wait, do you have a copy of Hulk 181?
She probably has 4.
Yes, I do, and he's graded.
Wow, you're rich.
No. That would be the Amazing Spider-Man #1 signed by Stan Lee that Tanya was like, the other day.
I tried to run out of the
crazy.
house with it. She wouldn't let me get very far.
Billy, one day you can come over, and for free, I will let you sort through comics.
Oh my God.
And
Such a
you
giver.
might be able to get to take 1 or 2 non-graded ones.
Well, how many did you count?
There's at least 18 to 20,000 comics on her back porch. At least. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. It makes Rhino's comics book store look little.
Oh, sure.
So we have Hulk 181. We do have one graded, and we have one not graded, because we like to own comics that you can open and read.
I like that.
So, and any ones that are graded, we do have others that are not graded, so that you can open and read it.
But you have 2 of them. Wow. I'm speechless.
She's got 4 of them.
Do you have Amazing Fantasy 15? The first appearance of Spider-Man?
Kate, what's on your list? While Anne's looking this up.
I didn't put them in order, but I have V for Vendetta on my list.
Ooh, that's on my list
That's
too.
a good movie.
I love that.
That's on my list.
Yeah.
His little quote my daughter
That's another
memorized.
dark one.
Yeah, Alan Moore
Yeah.
book. And Natalie Portman.
Mm-hmm.
Good movie. And with its anti-government sort of theme, it may be heading towards something.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have let my kids watch it then, but my daughter is always quoting. Is
Hugo
that long?
Weaving.
Yeah, I love him.
He looks so different, and isn't he the in the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Tanya-
Elrond, I think is his name.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh. And is standing up Amazing Fantasy 15. It's the first appearance of Spider-Man. So, no. She's looking it up. Let's see. That was your number 8, Tanya? Is that where we're at now?
Something like that. It's on my list.
Okay,
I
it's
don't
on-
remember.
that's
I don't
on-
have them numbered. I'm just like
I put Aquaman from 2018 as my number
permission to
Amazing
come
Fantasy's
aboard.
not in my database yet.
8. Oh, okay. Well, you might
So
not
chances
have.
are she probably has it.
I only have about 5,000 in the database right now.
Of the 20,000 comic books
Did you
that
say 5,000?
that's in her database.
Yeah.
Of the about 20, give or take.
You're my hero, Ann.
You can come over whenever you want. You just have to scan them. I'll give you my barcode scanner so that they go in inventory as you're reading them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
then you have to pack them and put them back in the box.
Aquaman's my number 8, just because
Aquaman's my number 3.
They did everything right in that movie.
He's my number 3. Or number 2, excuse me.
Everything except
He could
Aquaman
be
should
my
have
number
blonde
1.
hair, but Black Manta looked like Black Manta. Ocean Master had the helmet. They even had Topo the Octopus playing the drums. So
I just don't see how in any fantasy world, any world altogether, they were going to get Jason Momoa to dye his hair blonde.
I'm not positive he was the best choice for Aquaman, but he sure worked.
You're fired.
You are.
All right, see ya. No, I didn't turn off the mic.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you did
yes,
for
I
a
did.
second.
Sure, I did.
He
But-
he did a really good job.
He did do a good job, but even like the little like thought waves as he's talking to the fish, boop, 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 perfect. I can't ask for more than that. They nailed Aquaman. That's my number 8.
Without in any weird innuendos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going that.
Have you seen Aquaman yet, Kate?
I have. I loved it. But just like Tina, I haven't read the comic book, so I don't have that to compare it to. But
Some of them were kind of awkward.
awkward.
Like they had some really good storylines, but sometimes I'm like, wait a minute, is this a SpongeBob episode or is this like Aquaman? Because some of the situations that they put him in the beginning were not necessarily things that are relevant to a kid today.
Okay.
Like nowadays, it's more about saving the ocean, being, better to the environment, not ruining things. And back then, it wasn't always about that. It was, don't kill my fish. Like things have changed.
Yeah.
We've definitely grown.
That's good. I appreciate seeing him. He's doing that campaign on saving water, like the
See how he
oceans
shaved
and
his
stuff.
beard? I
He
was like,
shaved
no!
his beard for it and everything. Yeah. Thought that was cool.
Tanya.
It's Jason Momoa. How do you not like it?
I'm going to jump to League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Another fun one.
Yeah.
It's like, now it's like, is this your going back and have to watch list?
I saw it many years ago. Is that who wrote the book that's based on? I want to say Alan Moore again. You may be
I
a
was
big
thinking
Alan Moore.
I was thinking
fan.
Alan Moore again too.
Let's see. Extraordinary Gentleman is based on Alan Moore books, so you should go pick up some Alan Moore comics.
Alan Moore.
Alan Moore, excellent writer.
Sean Connery.
Back when Sean Connery was sexy.
Yes.
He still is in his
just
way,
is
but
rock.
yeah,
I
I
just
could
wanna
listen to him.
Benedict Cumberbatch and him, both of them. Just they could be my soundtrack to life.
The movie came out in what year?
2003.
2003. So he
It
was.
seems like a long time ago.
I mean, he played James Bond in the 60s, so he was still a little old for you, Tanya.
I don't care.
He's the first time I was like, actually, he's older and he's still kind of really sexy.
I liked him
was
in
in
The
that thing.
Rock and
Oh my God, The Rock. I was like, okay, so I was probably like mid-20s when The Rock came out, and I was like, oh, he's a sexy older gentleman. I was like, ooh.
Doesn't
He
happen
is.
often, but he is.
Part of it has to be the accent.
It has to be.
Yeah, it has to be.
Well, The Rock came out in '96, so
I was a senior, so yeah, I was like, ugh. Probably when I saw it was probably in my early 20s.
What is it with the accent that we love?
I don't know.
British, Scottish.
I wrote my books based on Benedict Cumberbatch's
Did you ever watch him as
reading
James
ode
Bond,
to
Tanya?
something.
Have you gone back and seen like Goldfinger? Or
Never say
Thunderball?
never again. Yeah.
I can't watch them. I always.
My brother loves them.
I've watched them and I like them, but I always go back and I don't know. It's always Austin Powers gets me every single
I
time.
love Austin.
I don't know
can't
why.
help it.
Number 7, Anne.
Incredibles.
Oh, good. The best Fantastic Four movie ever.
Absolutely.
That one is.
Except
Where's
there's
my
5.
suit?
And The Incredibles 2 will have to follow in with that as well because
But it wasn't as good as the first one.
I love Jack though. Like that is what I picture what would happen if I would have another kid.
Edna doing all the testing on him.
Oh my God,
was
she was
hysterical.
awesome. Edna is like my perfect cosplay. I want to be her in every cosplay from
She's
now
so
on.
little
She just
and
wants to walk around and go, no cape, no cape. That's all I want to do.
And the best line in the second Incredibles movie: when did they change math?
Right?
And I'm like, I was like, that is my life. When did they change math?
Yeah.
I can't figure out new math.
It's okay, either can I.
Neither can the kids.
No, but Jack having the knockdown, drag out fight with the raccoon in the backyard was hysterical.
I like when he just multiplies over and over again. I'm like, I want him. Like I just want
Well,
him.
and in the first movie, Mrs. Carr, this is blah 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 blah. Whatever the babysitter's name is. There's a problem with Jack.
You do our voice really well.
Thanks.
My number 7, The Dark Knight. Heath Ledger is the Joker. Aaron Eckhart, very underrated as Two-Face, and I thought very good as Two-Face, who's my favorite Batman villain in the comics. And, of course, Christian Bale is Batman. So
that was my honorable mention because out of all the Batman movies, Heath Ledger, that man should.
Heath Ledger?
Heath Ledger. Sorry, I always do that. Heath Ledger. He should have always played the Joker, and it's sad that he's gone. But every single person should try to follow him when they do it.
But it was a controversial casting when they did it. No one who knew.
Yeah, who
Who
knew?
knew? I mean, Jack Nicholson was amazing. Caesar, they haven't had I was about to say they haven't had a bad Joker yet, but Jared Leto wasn't. I didn't hate him.
The
but I
outtakes were
didn't-
better than what they put in.
I didn't like the movie.
Yeah.
You
The
didn't?
Suicide Squad movie that Jared Leto was in. Even Mark Hamill's amazing as the Joker, the animated Joker. So, but Heath Ledger was great, and the movie stands up not just as a superhero movie, but as sort of a mob movie and like a Godfather style serious drama. So, Dark Knight, my
I'm gonna
number
have to go back
7
and watch
pick.
that again.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I know where the DVDs are.
In your garage, right?
I actually have them in my house. They may.
I need to borrow Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
I have that too.
I have to borrow that.
I have it on Blu-ray.
We got Lego Movie too. We just picked that up.
I just picked that up yesterday, and Wrecker's watched it twice already. We bought it yesterday, and he's watched it twice last night.
Lego Movie?
The
The Lego Movie 2.
Oh, okay. I haven't
Part
seen
2.
that. I haven't seen part. I didn't like part 1.
Not gonna lie, I watched Batman Lego Movie the other day by myself. Did you know that there's a Black Panther Lego Movie on Netflix?
No.
I'm
No?
not kidding you. It is awesome.
All right, I gotta watch that.
They have like Lego Ninjago. They've got Clutch Powers, which is kind of like
She does the whole "What are those?" with the Lego sandals. And I literally fell off the couch laughing.
Did that make it into your top 10?
No, it's,
All the Lego
Actual
versions.
Black Panther did though, right?
yeah.
Me too.
And where are we?
Number
That was my
6.
number 7. So
Okay.
and number 6 or Tanya number 6.
I just did League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and we've went to something, and then I don't know. We went to your Dark Knight.
Yeah.
So I only have like 3 more on my list. So so I can jump in, but that definitely in the top is Red.
Red.
Retired Extremely Dangerous.
I've never seen it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I like it.
Bruce Willis is a retired government spy type person. John Malkovich is in it. He keeps Bruce Willis' character keeps getting sent his pension checks, and he keeps misplacing them or forgets how to cash them or whatever. So he keeps calling like the Social Security office or whatever it is, and keeps getting was it Mary? What's her character? Oh my gosh, I can't.
Mary Louise Parker, I see, is in it.
Yes.
Morgan Freeman's in it. John Malkovich, Carl Urban, and Helen Mirren.
It's
good cast.
It's a great cast.
It is.
So his life is threatened by a high-tech assassin, so he ends up reassembling his old team to survive and uncover who's trying to take him out. And it's this one that my husband had it on DVD, and we were watching it one day, and I think I've watched it 3 times since then. And he reads romance novels.
Yeah. It's so funny because it's like all old CIA tough guys that are now retired and just want to sit in the quiet.
Right.
Instead, they have to come back out.
And Mary Louise Parker's like, she's the person like that has like the non-existent life, and she was so excited to be talking to Frank Moses' character because she's like, ooh, whatever. They're talking about books and things like that, and then she inadvertently gets pulled into this situation, and John Malkovich's character's like tried to give her a gun, and Bruce Willis is like, no, don't give her a gun, and she's like, oh, yay, type thing, because she's just like, oh, goody goody, and just
super
cute. And Helen Mirren is a sniper, so she's
you gotta watch it. Have you not seen it?
I've not seen it. I'm adding it to my list.
Red and Red 2.
List.
And I see it is based on a comic book.
It is based on a comic book.
An unlimited comic book series of the same name created by Warren Ellis and Cully Hamner.
So it's
published by DC Comics.
So when I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, ooh, yay! There's 2. And it came out in 2010 and 2013. We've got both DVDs in my house.
Red 2 any good or disappointing?
No, it still goes
it's
right.
Not Red 2 Legally Blonde.
No, it's not.
No. Okay. Red, white, and red. Okay, and where are we? Number 6 for Anne.
Superman. The year I was born, 1978. It's a classic. I mean, Christopher Reeves could not have done any better. This was that movie that pretty much launched every superhero movie in the next 3 decades.
And that, to be honest with you, that's my number 6. So if we're heading there next, number 6, and you're absolutely right. And I was 13 at the time, 12 going on 13. And I was a nerd who read comic books, and there were not comic book movies. So when Superman came out, my head exploded. And I saw this at the theater multiple times in its original run. I was just thrilled beyond belief with it. I rewatched it yesterday as just sort of prep to see if just sort of to make sure, and because I really wanted to see it again. And to be honest with you, it was up a little higher on my list, and after rewatching it, it dropped down to 6, because even the scene where he's flying Lois around like the Statue of Liberty and stuff, and she's reciting the words to the song that Melissa Manchester recorded for the movie. Can you read my mind? Can you? And some of it just didn't hold up for me on rewatch, but still just made me way happier. And Christopher Reeves and Margot Kidder and everyone was just absolutely perfect in it. And they haven't had as good a Superman since.
I think that was 40 years ago that movie was made. So when that was made...
And it looked amazing then.
Yeah. There was not the CGI that there is today. Yeah. There wasn't any of the special effects. I mean, they were literally flying around with strings attached to their waists.
And some of it still looks great. Some of it doesn't hold up as well, but it's still just an amazing movie. So.
And look what it has done for every superhero movie.
Like I said, they haven't made as good a Superman movie since.
No, never will.
No. Kate, I've been missing you.
That's okay.
Have you?
She's jumping in.
didn't get to research, so I'm just stealing everybody else's anyway. Sky High's on my list.
I love Sky High.
Me too. I can't help it.
It is
Have
my
you seen Sky High?
I think I've seen it, and it may not have made an impression on me. Is that Kurt Russell?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And Linda Carter is the principal.
I remember seeing it on cable.
And the kids go on the bus and they fly up to this little planet and they're like
And
the
Kurt
school's
Russell's
up there.
kid doesn't
War and
have any
Peace
powers.
is on.
You know, he gets his powers.
He does,
He finally gets his powers. But
But they call him a sidekick the whole
the
time.
side, yes, by Sonic Boom, who's the gym teacher. So hilarious. Like, I will watch this movie every single time I see it on
And
TV.
one of the
We have
sidekicks
it.
turns into
I
a
have
guinea
to put
pig.
it in every once in a while.
Yes, the one that can grow plants. Oh, she's pretty awesome.
I want that superpower.
Me too.
Yeah.
I
I have a brown
plants.
thumb.
Me too.
Oh, I do too.
I can't grow
Don't give me your
anything.
plants. They're coming home to die.
I planted a
That's
whole
just
garden
true.
last weekend. I'm pretty sure they're all dead now.
Well, we've had torrential downpours over. Probably all wash away.
Probably.
So yeah. So Sky High would be on my list too. It's just a cute, fun movie.
Yeah, that's how I remember it, but it didn't stick. And I may go back on my list to rewatch as one that I bet I really liked it at the time.
I was
too.
gonna say I brought it into work because we would watch a movie over a week at lunchtime, like in 20-minute segments, and that was one of the ones I brought in the last year. And like the kids are like, "Oh, I remember this movie," and like I'll have like 4 or 5 of the boys sitting in my room watching it.
It's one of the ones my daughter always comes to. Oh, Sky High's on it. See,
me
those
too.
are
Yeah,
spy
too.
kids.
Because she kind of thinks she has a crush on War and Peace, I think.
Yeah.
No, it's Armageddon in our house. That is
That is one of my favorite movies in the
if
world.
we're flipping through and that one pops in, if we flip through the channels and that one happens to show up, it doesn't matter where it is. We stop and finish watching
I
it.
can't because every time I hear Aerosmith,
that-
I just start crying.
Oh, should we all sing again?
I don't want to go.
Seriously.
Cause I miss you, baby,
And I don't want to miss a thing. I
That's
have
what
that
made
on
me
my
fall
phone.
in love with Liv Tyler. And the reason why I watch Lord of the Rings, actually.
Actually, have
Because
you ever,
I know, which is my favorite movie now.
have you
Has
ever
nothing
seen
to do
That
with
Thing You Do?
Yes.
Yeah.
She is so cute. in
I
that.
freaking love her. I have
Jersey
I have a girl
girl.
crush on her.
She's
so
excellent.
Pretty.
She's such a pretty girl.
It's not fair. Those
Love
lips.
her.
Why can't I get some lips like that?
Oh, your
Okay,
father's
Billy.
Stephen
Now
Tyler, I
what?
guess.
Oh.
Now, where are we at? 5?
Did you do number 6, Ann?
Yeah, she said Sky High.
Sky
No,
High?
6 was my Superman. 5 was my Sky High that she stole.
Oh, okay.
So you can go with 5 or 6, wherever you wish.
Okay, I did 6 with the Superman. And Tanya, do you want us to skip so you can?
Yep,
you say you only got 3
I only
left?
have a couple minutes. Yeah, I only have a couple left right now.
My number 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one.
Yes, I agree.
The music references
Love.
alone in that deserve.
Just the soundtrack. The soundtrack is so much better in that one than the second one.
The second one's not bad for a soundtrack, and
I like one or two songs on the second soundtrack.
And the movie, number 2, isn't quite as good either. But,
No, but-
the first one just nails it. And I
does.
didn't read the comic books until after the first movie. I was aware it existed. I had heard of Rocket Raccoon and Gamora and Drax, but I didn't read the books. But that movie was just so funny, so exciting, and I just really liked it a whole lot.
Groot.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
But I like in the second movie, I am Groot.
And the fact
I
it's
am
so
Groot.
it's
I am
so
Groot.
good.
No!
That movie is so
Watch your
good
mouth.
that it made a franchise, a comic book that no one ever read. The movie became a huge hit, despite the fact. I mean, you think of the Hulk movie. More people have heard of the Hulk, but Guardians of the Galaxy way more successful, a way better movie.
Try going back now and finding the Guardians of the Galaxy, the original run of those comic books, because they went from being in the 5 for $1 bin to each book is now $5 to $7, and that is for grading between 5 and 7. You try to go above an 8, you're going to go way higher than that.
And then, like the first appearance of Groot, where was he? He was originally in a different comic.
He was.
And I bet that's way pricier. First,
I'm trying to
or the
remember
first
now.
appearance of Rocket of Groot. Let's ask my friend Mr. Google again.
Mr. Google does a lot of talking to us.
Groot. Let's see. First appearance of Groot was in Tales to Astonish, number 13 from 1960. Let's see.
Groot is a lot older than we think. Okay, because
Yeah.
he's been around a long time. Guardians of the Galaxy came out, was it like 68?
So Groot is 59 years old.
I'm testing my comic book knowledge. I have not tested this in a while.
Let's see. How much is this point selling it for? Hot Comics 74. Oh, I got pop-ups, so screw them. I don't care that much, but Guardians of the Galaxy, I just think it's a phenomenal movie. I've rewatched it a bunch. I bought it on Blu-ray.
I was
Makes
wrong.
me happy.
1969. I was off by a year.
Close enough.
So, let's see. That was my number 5. And number 5? Kate, number 5?
I have a weird one. When I was looking it up, I found Weird Science. I
That's
just
a
made my
comic
kids
book?
apparently. I just made my kids watch that recently.
Yeah, it is a comic book.
I just
I think it
learned
was
something.
I didn't
made
know it was a comic
after
book.
the movie.
Oh, is that?
I think because
That
remember
shouldn't
they
count
made the
then.
Weird Science 2? And I remember when the Weird Science 2 movie, even though it was a flop, the comic book was a bigger hit.
I didn't even know there was a Weird Science too. So
Weird Science publication date, June 1950.
Oh, no, I guess it was before it.
And there was 22 issues. It was EC Comics,
Oh, that's why.
an American science fiction comic book magazine that was part of the EC Comics line in the 1950s. Over a 4-year span, the comic ran for 22 issues, ending with the November-December 1953 issue. Weird Fantasy was a sister title published during the same time frame.
EC Comics was not a very popular comic because it was mostly set toward
It was horror comics, wasn't it?
the horrors, the science, the nerdy geeks beyond the regular. It was a lot of sci-fi fantasy stuff.
Did EC originally put out Mad Magazine, though?
I think so. I think I'm gonna have to Google that myself, but I think they were one of the first publishers of it.
I still love reading that when I was a kid too.
Everybody loved Mad Magazine.
I just picked one up not long ago just for the fun of it.
Educational comics.
That's what it stands for?
That's what EC is.
Yep, they started selling. Yeah, it was founded in 1944, and yes, they did sell educational horror, crime fiction, satire, military fiction, dark fantasy, and sci-fi. That's what I remember because they're the ones that did the Tales from the Crypts.
That company merged with DC Comics in 1944.
Oh, okay.
EC and DC came up for DC and a half. I don't know. Tanya, give us
Yes,
one.
Mad. Mad was one of their productions. I have to go G.I. Joe.
Never saw any of them.
You didn't?
Uh-uh.
Brenda's with
I was
me.
never a G.I. Joe.
Bruce Willis in the second one. That I love the beginning of the second one where Channing Tatum is playing video games with I don't know who's sitting on the couch with him, and they're playing like Call of Duty or Black Ops or something, and Channing Tatum cannot play whatsoever, and he's just running around in a circle and he's just like spinning, and they're like, dude, what are you doing? He goes, I'm covering you 360. Because he just doesn't know what to do with all the controllers. It's hysterical because that is so me with an Xbox or a PS4 controller because there's just too many damn buttons. But it's like he was.
G.I. Joe would probably be my husband's top list. He has this strange G.I. Joe obsession.
Knowing is half the battle.
Exactly. Exactly.
Can I tell you how many times I use that phrase at work?
But
And
if you
knowing
look
is half
at
the
those
battle.
comics,
And they look at me like, what?
and this comic started coming out years and years and years and years. And if it wasn't for the toys coming out, G.I. Joe would probably be long gone. Because the toys brought back something way different and brought it back to a whole new group of kids and just turned it upside down.
See, when I was a kid, I had the original, like, 12-inch G.I. Joes with helicopters and jeeps and all kinds of stuff. When they started making movies and cartoons, by that time, I had long tapped out.
Probably that was like the early 80s. Is
82 to 94 is the comic book that was gone for G.I. Joe. Now, I remember the cartoon TV series, too. That would be
Yeah.
Lady Jane. Yep. And Snake Eyes, he's in Red.
Oh.
So the actor that plays Snake Eyes is one of the other would-be assassins in Red 2.
So the G.I. Joe comics were made specifically to bring the new toys back in the 80s. Do you remember that?
To be honest with you, no.
When they
I
started
wasn't paying
with
any attention to G.I. Joe.
So in the 50s and the 60s, when the G.I. Joe toys came out, it was, after the war, and they were trying to bring some action figures in for boys to play with because girls had dolls.
Barbies.
Yep. So they made these G.I. Joes. Well, when the TV was getting so big for kids' Saturday morning cartoons and stuff, they made G.I. Joe. And they said, why don't we make a comic book to go with it? Because this way we'll have a comic on the back of the boxes for these smaller versions of the toys. If you've ever watched that TV show, it's on Netflix. It's called These Are the Toys That Made Us.
I've seen it on my list, but
You really have to watch it. It's so good. It explains so many of where some of the toys came from the comic books. And explains Barbie, Legos, so many things.
I will check that out. It does sound really interesting. And did you give us your number 5? Mm-hmm. Okay, then go to number 4.
Number 4 is going to be Black Panther. Even though it totally jumped from the comic books to modern day. So if you look at the comic books way back, they're not the same as what it is now. But how they evolved it to bring it into modern technology and to really be uplifting and just inspiring for this generation, it was a great movie.
Yeah, coming from someone who didn't read the comic books, my daughter and I, it's one of our favorites.
I'd never seen the movie, or I'd never read the comics either, but really enjoyed the movie, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Some of the comics were very propaganda, especially in the 60s and 70s, that then evolved from there. But the movie did not play into any of that. The movie...
I mean, like political...
Yeah. Some of it was...
Racial overtones? Or
some of it was. Yeah. Not a lot of it, but some of it. But, I don't know, just seeing a very strong African-American presence in a comic book did not make him very popular, especially in an age where they were being oppressed. So the fact that those comics not only survived, that they thrived and brought this movie out today in the last 2 years to where it is now, amazing.
Mm-hmm. It came at a good time, too.
It absolutely did.
Nominated for Best Picture.
Good.
So, what did you think of Black Panther, Tanya?
I liked it.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Should have made your top 10 list.
It would.
Okay. Since you have a couple open spots, I'm putting it on there.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. Was that number 4 for you?
That was 4, yep.
I'm going Endgame.
We all know my feelings on that one.
Yeah, we already talked about that one.
We talked about it a couple weeks ago. I thought it was fantastic, and it made me cry, and it made me laugh, and it made me excited. And
we're going to talk about Endgame a little bit later.
So we're gonna. That's where my number 4.
Yeah.
Number 3. Give us one of yours, Tanya.
My
one that's not Endgame, I guess, unless you want to talk about Endgame.
No, that's going to be later.
Okay.
My last ones that's on here is Kingsman.
That's one of my honorable mentions.
Kingsman. So as I said, I went outside the box of the normal whatever and just went to the other ones that I really didn't know that half of these were actually comic books. Like, because, I know G.I. Joe, I know Marvel, I know Justice League. I mean, because I could have done Justice League, I could have done Wonder Woman, I'm like, I know all that. So I went to the ones that I thoroughly enjoyed that I didn't realize were comic books.
I knew this one was a comic going in, but I'd never read it, and I still haven't. But I really like, especially the first movie.
Yeah.
I took my son to see the second one, and I'm just like, when we were talking about the movies, I'm just like, I wanted to crawl underneath my seat and die. Because they were talking about how the tracker had to go up somewhere.
Oh, that's right.
And I had my 18-year-old son with me at that or whatever. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Well, there was there was a couple sex jokes in the first one too.
Right, and I'm just like, like, why am I here with my 17-year-old or 18-year-old? Yeah.
And why is he taking off his shirt?
Yeah,
That was a good one for my whole family, and that's hard to do. I have a 17-year-old son. My daughter is 15. They're very different. My brother, high functioning autistic, all he wants to watch is like old James Bonds. I could put them all in the same room, and they love it. So that's why we love that movie.
But it was a good movie. So
I agree.
Kingsman and Kingsman to the Secret Circle or something like Golden Circle or something.
I don't think we've bought that one yet.
But that was very stylized. I liked the action sequences. Was one of them set to a Zeppelin song? I'm trying to
Possibly.
remember. No,
And-
it was Queen, I think. I forget now.
And next weekend I want to see Rocket Man.
oh, that
That's
comes
got
out too. Yeah.
that's got
Yeah, the guy.
Eggsy
Yeah.
in it. So
I still haven't seen Queen. I really want. Or Bohemian Rhapsody. I really
Oh,
want to see that.
I
pretty good.
almost bought. Oh, Deanna's got it on DVD, so I've got to go steal it from her.
Okay, let me know.
She
I'll come
said
over.
she said that I could borrow it. We have to watch it on the Xbox because we don't have a DVD player downstairs. Yeah, well
Okay.
we do, but it's not hooked up.
I know my number 4 is Endgame. Did you do your number 4 yet, Ann?
I did. Mine was Black Panther.
Then number 3.
Doctor Strange. Yeah.
Oh. Alrighty then.
That's just.
What is it about the accent? We're going back to the accent.
He doesn't have the accent in this, though.
No, but
No.
He's just such a good actor, though.
He really,
He really
is.
as Sherlock. He's great.
Freaking amazing. Best show ever.
It really is one of the best shows ever.
You got to show Billy a picture of your fish tank.
Oh, my fish's name is Sherlock, and the wall is the wall. Like we put the wall with
The
the, smiley
wallpaper.
face, yeah, behind the tank.
It's
that wallpaper I think with the smiley face is somewhere down at Knox.
It is because that's right when you
that's-
first walk in. Because the first time I walked in, then I went, "Oh my God, I'm home." I fell in love the minute I walked in.
You can thank Kelly for that.
I will.
It's right.
Okay.
Doctor Strange was a comic I never really read as a kid. I was more of a DC kid than Marvel.
Me too.
And so I wasn't familiar with the comic book characters as much. I knew how he looked. I'd had a couple, and Benedict Cumberbatch looked exactly how Doctor Strange should look, and
That's
it was
fun.
an amazing looking movie.
Seeing
And
the
a lot of
movie
fun, yeah.
is what made me want to go back and read the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's not something that normally happens. Normally, I read the comics and then I'm like, oh, do I want to see the movie? Oh, okay, and we're going to go see it. And then I sit there and compare it. This was the one like, oh my gosh, how did I not see this comic in the past? Why do we not own this?
That's
Do you
fun.
own it now?
Maybe. Several. A couple runs. We're missing a few. I have a list.
Oh my gosh.
I've seen your. Are you transferring that onto a list that? Her list is this piece of paper that's been folded and unfolded and folded, and it's got holes in it, and it's going to fall apart. It needs to be like laminated.
That's just my Amazing Spider-Man list.
Oh, that's just the Amazing
I
Spider-Man
have a
list?
spreadsheet going of other ones.
I have a similar Superman family / Jimmy Olsen list.
See? Everybody does it.
In fact, it may be in my pocket right
Mine's
now.
in
And
my
it's just
wallet.
a beat up piece of paper.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
How funny.
Handwritten. Do you have a Spider-Man 300?
Yes.
Okay. Me too.
Nice. Very nice. Let's see. That was your number 3, Ann? Mm-hmm. Mine is Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Love it.
Oh, my God.
I've never seen that.
Oh my
it's
gosh, we
such an
have it.
amazing, funny movie. I originally had Superman at number 3 and Scott Pilgrim at number 6 until I watched Scott Pilgrim Friday night and Superman yesterday. These two are switching spots. Scott Pilgrim versus the World is just an amazing piece of work. I can't even explain. You just have to watch it. It's funny. It's got visuals like I've never seen. The fight scenes are amazing. Even like the scene where Scott and Knives Chow are on the Dance Dance Revolution game or the choreography of that is just it's so much fun.
It's awesome.
So
Fun for the kids too.
Scott Pilgrim
you not
versus the
seen it?
World, number 3, and maybe should be number 2 or 1, but I'm going to stick it at 3.
Is it on Netflix by any chance?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I think I'm going to watch it because I love Anna Kendrick. So
Oh yeah,
my
she's
gosh.
funny in it. Michael Cera, I'm not even a big fan of, but I really
he
love
looks
that
familiar.
movie. He was in Arrested Development. He's in a couple teen
Superbad,
Superbads,
Juno.
yeah.
Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's in the Lego Batman 2. He plays Robin.
Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, he was Brother Bear in the Berenstain Bears TV series.
Really?
Sorry.
That movie is very, very funny. And it makes me, and I've never read the books, and now I want to go find like a compilation or a compendium or an omnibus or something and read them. Number 2.
I'm tapped out.
You're done?
I'm done.
I already did my number 2. It was Aquaman. But I can give you one of my honorable mentions is, this is kind of weird, but Orphan Annie.
Oh, the original with I can't remember her name.
Oh, Shirley Temple?
No.
The little from 70s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the
one
remake.
in Eileen Quinn. The one from 1982.
Yes. But
Albert Finney and Eileen Quinn.
the comic books was...
Carol Burnett.
When I was about 5, I was given a box of comic books from my uncle, and they were all Archie, which were way too old for a 5-year-old to have.
Archie's really?
My brother loves
For at the
Archie.
time, I was 5. Okay. And in the bottom of the box was Orphan Annie and Inspector Gadget.
Oh
Love
my
Inspector
gosh.
Gadget.
And I just had to get more Orphan Annie and more Inspector Gadgets. Then the Inspector Gadget cartoon show came on, and I was all into that. Yeah, exactly. I really want to do that. But then I saw the movie Annie because it was our very first VHS tape we got. When we got our very first VHS player. It was like a month after we got our very first microwave, by the way.
Oh my God. You're making me feel so old.
And I played that VHS tape until it was completely wore out and I could not sing along with it anymore.
That's awesome.
I don't know what Tanya's looking at.
Oh, I'm looking at the cast of Annie. Albert Finney, Carol Burnett,
Punjai. Oh my God.
Tim Curry, Bernadette Peters, Eileen Quinn, just like the top 6 people are just like, it brings me back to my childhood. I mean, I was
Classics.
10 when it came out, so I know that's definitely one I saw in the theaters.
Did that movie come out because the Broadway play was so popular?
Yeah.
So not because of the comic strips or the comic books at the time.
No, I don't even think it was really based on the comic strips. I mean, most of the comic strips were talking about, their everyday
Buying
life.
war bonds and
Yeah. It was definitely politically driven.
oh yeah, that's right. All right, let's see. My number 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I haven't
love
seen
that
it yet.
movie. It is so good.
I'm borrowing it.
Okay, you can borrow it.
I know. I was thinking about doing that.
Just the way it pulls from it was perfect.
Yeah.
My wife and I went to it, and she went into it with some trepidation and walked out with her being her favorite movie of the year. So
Have you seen it, Kate? Mm-hmm. It's so good. Just how they bring people in, and everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses, and every multiverse or whatever is just so good.
It's a tale of family, and it's heartwarming, and it's funny, and it's everything a comic book movie should be. So, Into the Spider-Verse. Plus, John Mulaney. It also made me go, let me see what else John Mulaney's done. He was the voice of Spider-Ham. And I know I saw he'd had some Netflix specials on. Let me watch a John Mulaney Netflix special. And he is the funniest stand-up comedian I've seen in years.
Very funny.
So it made me a John Mulaney fan also. Besides just being a fantastic movie, exciting, funny, heartwarming, all that good stuff. Number 1, Ann.
Wonder Woman. I am a DC girl, and Wonder Woman has been my everything since I was about 3. So I love Wonder Woman. The movie was so well done. It did tie into a lot of the comic books, but not exactly the same. I mean,
It was its own thing.
It was its own thing. Even some of the books that have come out after, some of the novelizations and comics afterward don't follow along with the same storyline. But it was so well done, it was hard not to love it.
Did you like the TV show?
It was so campy. It's hard. I mean,
I really like it.
I loved
appreciate
it.
Yeah,
I loved it for exactly what it was.
exactly.
So, but seeing the seriousness of the new movie was great. I hope they bring some of that along with maybe some of the campiness to the Wonder Woman 1984.
84.
Oh, 84.
No, the new movie coming out, Wonder Woman 1988, right?
It's 1984.
Oh, okay.
I just looked it up.
Oh, okay. I'm hoping they
She's
bring
got the
some of the
Google in front of her.
campiness to that because
with Kristen Wiig as the cheetah.
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh my God. I freaking love her.
it's going to be a good
The
movie.
release date, June 5th, 2020.
Yeah.
Hey, a year from today.
Woo! We start the year countdown.
The year countdown. Yes.
So I am looking forward to that. Wonder Woman is an honorable mention of mine because my number one is Infinity War. And what she did.
Gosh, up the size.
See, and like I said, I'm a DC guy, and I think it helps sometimes to not have read a bunch of Marvel comics. Like, I'm not that familiar with Thor as a comic book character or Doctor Strange, but it had all these characters interacting, and it was funny, and it was exciting, and it had, to me, a great ending that led to Endgame, which I thought was awesome that Anne didn't. So Infinity War is at the end of the year, I was trying to figure out, at the end of 2018, what is my favorite movie of the year? And I kept going back to Infinity War.
So it's not that I didn't like it. I liked it for what it was. I have the Marvel Online of all the comic books that I can go and read whenever I want. So leading up to Infinity War, I read there's 3 separate series all into it. So I was thinking what was going to happen in Endgame because I figured it had to be based on one of the 3 endings of the other 3 series. And it was not. It was not at all. And not that I didn't like the ending. You know, I have gone now and seen Endgame a second time. And going in with more of a clear head, I do like it more. I haven't seen
You've seen it twice? I haven't even seen it twice.
I've seen Infinity War about 10 times.
Well, yeah.
And now Endgame I have seen twice. I had to go once without my husband because he's doing and then grabbing my hand every time he's jumping because he's not read all the comics the way that I have. So
sometimes I think that makes it harder for you because I had no expectations.
Yeah. And I went in this time going, okay, clear mind. You saw Infinity War today at lunch. Into the afternoon, and so let's go and see it. And I just went. Didn't tell anybody I was going. I just went by myself, and I enjoyed it better the second time because I went with a clear brain. And I did not cry.
One that you had to. Okay, I have to go watch it because we're going to talk about this.
Yeah.
I rushed to the theater the first time because I was like, oh my God, someone's going to spoil it. Nobody talked to me.
They were all going to spoil it on me.
Nobody talked to me. I'm going to the theater right now.
Oh, I had a hard time keeping my mouth shut at dance pictures that night. Ooh. But I did.
Like, Amy missed dance pictures because
she was at Endgame.
and then game.
Really?
Yep.
Worth it. Sorry.
I at least planned my tickets, so I made dance pictures because I knew that my mother would want one.
You guys have more people at yours.
We had 4 people show
4
up on our
people.
We
pictures.
only had 3 at ours, so you already won.
And I already sent Tanya's mom the information to buy the DVD.
And a dance bear.
Oh my God, you better get a dance bear.
Well, I was going to order my own dance bear a couple weeks ago when the email came out, and we were shopping for outfit for Jess for her concert for that Monday night, and she's like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to get a dance bear. She goes, you're not ordering a dance bear. I'm like, but I'm ordering a dance bear. Jessica goes, you're not ordering a dance bear. I'm like, why can't I order a dance bear? They're like, you don't want one. I'm like, yes, I do. They're like, your mother's already ordering it for you. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's amazing.
So, of course, I blew her in later that day.
That's great.
And she's like, they can't tell. I'm like, Mom, I got the email anyway. So,
Billy, what, if any, of these movies, for somebody who, what is your favorite comic series of all time? Like, do you have one certain genre of comics, like Spider-Man, Superman? What is your favorite one of all times that you always will go back to?
See, I always go back to, in fact, I'm trying to finish up the complete run right now. I grew up in the mid-'70s. I was born in 65. I mostly started reading comic books in like 74 through the early 80s, dropped out for a while, came back and loved comics again. But in that initial love of comics, Superman Family, Batman Brave and the Bold, and basically anything Batman and Superman. Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes actually was a big favorite of mine. Justice League, DC mostly. I did read some Spider-Man and Fantastic Four from Marvel at that point, but there were 59 issues of Superman Family. And they actually picked up Jimmy Olsen, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, started as a comic in the early 60s, ran for 163 issues. Superman Family picked up with issue 164 and ran for 59 issues. And I've got 51 of them right now. And now I'm trying to finish up that and am starting to collect the Jimmy Olsens too, so I can have 1 through 222, I believe was the last issue of Superman Family. So I'm going to go with that just because those are my favorites.
What about you?
I was kind of obsessed with The Gifted in the mid 90s, and I had the first run of the series, and they actually have 3 series, and it was one of those things that I left at home when I moved out the first time, and my parents destroyed. Ooh. That was my wedding present from my husband. He bought me all of them last year when we got married. That and anything Jim Henson.
Oh my gosh.
I am obsessed. I have all of the Fraggle Rocks.
Down in Fraggle Rock.
Love that show.
I have all of Labyrinth, all of the Dark Crystal, including all the new series. And now there's a whole new run of Labyrinth 2. I love all of them. I absolutely cannot just...
So is the Gifted TV show based on that, or no? Is that
the
totally
TV
different?
show is based on it. Pretty much exactly as the very first run of the comics go.
Really?
Yep, complete with the dinosaur and everything else. It's pretty good.
She wants to love.
Well, if she wants to read him, she can, but they can't leave my house.
She's there often enough. She can.
So,
Tanya, does this make you want to read comics?
I did buy my first 2 comic books on Free Comic Book Day.
Oh my gosh!
I got
what were they?
Secret Avengers 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. Is that the ones I haven't cracked them open yet because I'm waiting for a special occasion to when I'm got some free time. But in the 2 weeks I have between school year and summer school, maybe I'll bring them to school during Regents exams. I can read them then. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At Free Comic Book Day, Jessica got me the complete backstory of Captain Marvel.
Ooh,
wow.
It was like this book, but yeah.
So, yeah. So, yes, I did pick up my first 2 comic books.
Yay.
We'll see.
Next, we're going to have to get you the online Marvel, where you can read as many as you want for one price a month like I do.
Right now, I've got my Amazon Kindle Unlimited subscription. So
And you can get a bunch of comics through that, too.
Can I?
Yeah.
So
I have Amazon. Maybe I should use that, too.
I've got the
I feel like I pay for so many subscriptions.
Kindle Unlimited subscription. So I gotten rid of it for a little while, but I'm that was the one, I've canceled a couple subscriptions. Like my Ipsy bag was on postponement until July. I only postponed it. I didn't get rid of it. And I'd gotten rid of my Kindle Unlimited one for, it was about 2 months. Then I'm like, nope. That was one that I
use a lot.
I can go through 4 or 5 books in a weekend. Wow.
That's amazing to me. Susan can read like that too, and I'm jealous.
They're it'll
Good
say,
for you.
over the last couple days, I've gone through 3 or 4 books. I mean, they're not necessarily super long novels or whatever. But
no, but that's still great.
Check my brain at the door, read a romance novel. Check my brain at the door, read a romance novel. That type of
romance
thing.
novels are perfect for that, aren't they?
They are, and they're so. And what I like is series where there's 3 or 4 books either based on brothers or sisters or something that they're all intertwined, and because it's I want more of a story than just one. So, but that's my English literature background coming out that I just want more things to read.
If they're already all written. I'm so tired of reading a book and then having to wait 6 months or a year for the next one to come out.
Because then I forget.
Yeah.
Wow, we are spirit sisters here. Because I know that's the thing. It's even on my Kindle Unlimited, it's okay, when it comes out, I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Type thing. And I forget, and then...
Stephanie Plum series.
That's why I won't read Game of Thrones. I refuse to read it until it comes out with the last one.
He'll die first.
I'll kill him first.
and
so
you
sick
know
of
his
waiting.
book. He did say that his last book wasn't going to end the way the TV show does.
Why didn't he tell them that then?
Because he didn't want to have anything to do with how it ended.
Right.
But he supposedly told them how it was supposed to end.
Well, he better hurry up and write these books.
Well, this one he's been writing for like the last 6 or 7 years.
Well, it's because he put it down and wrote other things.
Yeah.
Which, as a writer,
I tell you, he's going to die before
he
gets this last book. Because I've read the rest of them. I've actually read
have
them.
you? I won't, because I know I'm going to forget.
I've read, and I'll have to go back. If you've read any of Terry Brooks, like the Sword of Shannara series, the Game of Thrones is written similar to that.
I have those books if you want to read them.
Because Terry Brooks, you're reading about blah, blah, Shay, and then everything, and then you think like at the end there's a cliffhanger, then it goes to a new character. You're like, son of a and then that whole thing, you think they're going to jump back. Nope, they go to a third character, and then they go to a fourth character, they go to the fifth character.
That makes me a little crazy.
The Game of Thrones was the same thing for A Song of Fire and Ice, the first one. I've started to keep a list of the characters in there.
You should need a cheat sheet.
Because I think it started with Catherine Stark, Cat. It started with her perspective of this, and then it's someone else's perspective of the same thing, and then the same. So, like, the first 5 chapters were each other's perspectives
of the same event,
of Winterfell or something. It was, and I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't keep it straight. So I'm like, finally, F it. I'm not going to. I was keeping a cheat sheet of all the characters because they introduced a new character like every chapter, and then there was like people in there, and you can see if you watch the TV series, there are a ton of chapters or a ton of characters. And
my husband's reading them right now, so hopefully he won't.
Don't get attached to any of them.
We've learned that from the show.
So, and I think at that point we've already hit them all, right? So we are going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with our events in our business, and we're going to end it for today.
I'm going to go to a break with comedian Mike Lawrence, who's a big nerd, and I really like him, so he's going to talk about Batman.
Speaking of alone time, I'm a big comic book fan, and my favorite movie is The Dark Knight, and I've been trying to figure out what Christian Bale's Batman voice sounds like to me, besides and I finally got it. He sounds like a drag queen at the end of the night who just doesn't care anymore. Come on, Chantel, let's just go to this club a few blocks down the road. These high heels are killing me. I think it's really fitting because superheroes sound exactly like drag queens. It's like, hey, what's your name? It's not who I am. It's what I've become.
Oh, boy. What a conversation that we had today on our favorite comic book movies. Before we get into our events, we would like to wish happy birthday today to our producer, Sherry. June 5th is, she's not with us today, but happy birthday to Sherry. And a year from today, Wonder Woman's coming out, 1984.
Yay.
Do you start your countdown? We are proud to pronounce. We are now to.
I now pronounce you man and man.
Yeah. Let's back this up a second. Okay. I'm tired. We are proud to announce a new partnership with the 585 Rockin' Burger Bar at 250 Pixley Road in Gates. Is it Gates? Chile? Gates. People don't know exactly where that is. It's right across the street from Tinseltown and right behind Big Lots. Right across from Tops.
Yep.
I know that area well. I like that Big Lots store. I'm sure Ann does too. She runs into my family members there.
All the time.
All the time. We'll be partnering with them to do events every Tuesday starting in mid-June. And the events that you want to know what we're doing, we are going to be doing game nights. Dun, dun, dun. So I don't have Billy's soundtrack over here, so I'm going to make my own. He sang in the last podcast. So we will have different types of games each week. Could be card games, could be board games, could be dice games. And just come on down. And
we should have a Twister night.
Oh God, I'm too old for
I'm
that.
not going to play, but I'll watch.
You will document it for proserity's
I
sake.
will.
When everybody who gets out gets a shot.
We're starting with Fireball.
Yeah, you start with the Fireball.
Left, right, up, down. Stay tuned here and on all of our social media channels for more details. And then on July 27th, join us at the 585 Rockin' Burger Bar that night from 6 to 8 for the Mighty Monkey Corporation Cosplay Karaoke Night. Karaoke, as I said, will run from 6 to 8 that night, and then stick around for the live music with Wicked, the 70s hair band extraordinaire, at 8:30. They're going to play until approximately midnight, and then if we are still there, which chances are we probably will be, we're going to move the party back inside. There is a $5 cover charge, 50-50 raffle. We are going to have lots of fun and interesting raffle baskets. I know that there was one that has to do with Firefly currently. I hear Kate going, I keep tormenting her because I know she wants that one.
I super do.
Yeah, well, buy some raffle tickets and put your thing in there, and maybe you'll get lucky. And a dessert table to tempt the even most discriminating palate. I'm hoping. Do you think we could probably get some cookies from Get Caked?
That would be good. There, and I really want some of those cheesecake cookies from Cheesy Eddie's. Have you had those? Mm-mm. It's like these 2 oatmeal cookies with a giant block of cheesecake in the middle.
Oh,
You've never had them?
no.
Oh my God, they have small mini ones and they have big ones, or we could just get cheesecake.
That's always make me so hungry.
So, therefore, we are going to have a dessert table that will tempt you. There's no tomorrow.
And hopefully we'll get some cannolis.
Maybe we talk into like Savoyas and some of those Italian cookies. So it'll be lots of treats for everybody. So, want to be a part of FC3 Monkey Business and the Money Monkey Corporation? I know Billy does. Well, you can become a sponsor. We have sponsorship levels of all kinds and are even willing to create custom sponsorship packets. Please contact us at sponsorships@fc3roc.org. Follow us, please, on Patreon. Patreon is a way to support the people who are creating the things you love, such as Monkey Business. Please check us out at www.patreon.com/FC3ROC. All membership levels will include great perks, such as Billy singing. He didn't do as much this time.
No, I didn't have a song.
You were singing from Armageddon.
Oh,
Aerosmith, yeah.
That's right.
And check out our writer's blog. Want to have your own article series or video game blog series like our friend James Irish? Contact us at media@fc3roc.org for details. Is there a place that you find your podcast and you can't find us, the FC3 Monkey Business? Please let us know, and we will make sure that we try to get that figured out. And please follow us on Twitter at FC3MB Podcast. And if you do, make sure you say hi.
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 Yo.
Hi.
We love it when you say hi
What's
or
up?
yo or yo. So that's it for business. So now getting down to what's going to hit us really hard today is our question of the week. So after you're done listening to this podcast, make sure you comment down in the little comment section under here and answer this question. How would you answer it? I know how C is going to answer it because I already talked to him earlier this week about what fictional death hit you the hardest and why. I know his answer, and that'll be coming up in a matter of moments. Anne, what fictional death has hit you the hardest and why?
Joyce Summers, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Buffy's mom.
Yes, when
Oh
Buffy's
my
mom
God,
died,
that was so freaking sad.
Buffy
I
was
haven't
that
finished yet. Thank you. Spoilers.
For a show that's 15 years old.
Buffy was the show that me and my mom and my sisters, we all watched together. And my mom had a lot of health stuff going on. And just when Joyce died, I just wet face, teared, snotty nose, like the whole gamut. I was like, oh, I almost missed school the next day because of it.
What was the girl demon's name that was in the show?
Anna?
Yeah, and how she reacted to it, like people aren't supposed to die or something. She
Yeah.
said, I lost my mind. That was the saddest movie or TV time in my life.
That was really
It
hard.
broke me. Yeah.
So I'll be broken when I finally get to
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
sorry.
I mean, if the show's over like 5 years old.
I know. I just
I know.
haven't
I
had a
feel bad.
chance. I watched
I do
the
feel
movie,
bad,
but
though,
I just
'cause
haven't.
My kids haven't gotten to that part either.
We
yet.
did not a book club of Buffy, and we made her watch the very first episode of.
I'm like only 5 episodes in.
Yeah, and
and
it's
that
not
was
even
like
like
6 months ago.
Yeah, and that's just not a very good judge of that show because it really didn't develop character until season 2.
Yeah.
I have to keep going. So
Don't give up.
Billy?
I'm going to go with 2, and they hit me the most because they're based on real life deaths. First, Mr. Hooper from Sesame Street.
Oh my goodness.
He died, and then the people had to explain to Big Bird about death. And I was way older then, but it was something I was interested in seeing how they did it, and it was really sad. And my other one is Finn from Glee. Because the actor that played Finn and
Corey.
Monty. Yes. But we were me and my wife, big fans of Glee. And I still remember I was in the hospital with a broken nose when I heard that he had died. And the next season of Glee was coming out. And we didn't watch it for over a year just because I didn't want to face that episode where they had to deal with Finn's death. And when we did finally eventually watch it on Netflix, basically spent the whole hour with my face just red and covered in tears. So, Finn from Glee.
I'll have to agree with you on that one. That one was hard. Kate?
Well, I want to sound so not as deep on mine, and I don't even know if it counts because it's really just an actor leaving. I was really broken when David Tennant left Doctor Who, and he whispered, "I don't want to go." I think my entire body ripped in half in that moment, and I was like, "I don't want you to go either." And I was
that's kind of like a character death because that doctor's quote unquote dying, and
it hurt.
I just picked up the box set of the first 2 Doctors, all their episodes at Walmart yesterday of Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant.
I liked him too.
It was $20.
What?
Yeah, they're the first 2 Doctors of the new series, all their episodes plus extra bonus material and things like that.
I'm gonna have to go do that. We use it at Walmart. Going to Walmart.
So I picked it. My husband's like, "Oh, look," and I'm like, "Oh, ooh," because I can't get them on Netflix anymore or whatever. So that's it. Fictional death that hit me the hardest was recently. The first one, I have 2. It came from the same movie. It was Black Widow when she was fighting with Clint to take control of the Soul Stone or whatever. That one hit me, and it hit me that that she was willing to sacrifice herself for the rest of her quote unquote family. So that one hit me. But then at the end, Tony Stark's death hit me, and it hit me in regards to the funeral and that had been 11 movies or whatever that he had just been like a part of your life for so long in regards to it. And it was just like, and you could see how he just grew from being like the egotistical asshole from whatever, like I am Iron Man, to coming back around to kind of taking one for the team to let them to go on and things like that. So, and I know that was the death that hit Chris the hardest also. Yeah. Was Tony Stark's death.
My kids too. Yeah. My daughter saw a sticker recently for Iron Man. She's like, too soon.
No, what was too soon was
sticker,
was the Spider-Man puzzle set, and was all a thing of dirt and dust tried after Infinity War. The costume or whatever that was like, no, that's just wrong. So, but I'm sure there's probably others that hit me hard, but I just can't think of anything.
Wash from Firefly was a number 2 for me.
I think that would be my friend Helen's one.
I was sad, but also angry. I was angry. I was like, what are you doing? Stop it right now.
All right.
So at that point, wraps up another week of Monkey Business.
Purveyors and producers of lots of fun stuff, including FC3, Florida City Comic Con, coming to someplace in the next year.
Sometime in 2020. More details will be following. We do have a mini-con that will be coming up in July, so stay tuned for those details. I know we've
what was
announced
Chris's death? Shoot, now we got to do this again. What was Chris's fictional death?
You were not paying attention to me, and now I know how this is. Now you are just like one of my kids.
What was his Tony Stark too?
His was Tony Stark also.
Purveyors and producers of the Flower City Comic Con. Yeah,
we already did this. Okay. Bump, bump.
Bump, bump. See you next week. Bye. By the way, Tony Stark was Chris's fictional death, in case you didn't hear it like I didn't. See ya.